As much as I enjoy playing Spider-Man, he's not really my main that I play the most frequently. That would be Rocket Raccoon. Now, I know it's a bit of a jump going from one of the hardest to play characters in the game to arguably one of the easiest, but I figured if the first video is going to be a duelist, the second one should be a support just to even things out. And I figured Rocket would be a very good one to explain to people who are new to the game because it's not hard to get value out of this playable character. By the same token, is extremely fun to play. There's a lot of room for skill expression if you get good at playing him. And in fact, he can actually be somewhat more of a duelist than a support at times if you know what you're doing. So yeah, let's talk about one of the most underrated characters. Rocket's primary fire is a chain gun that shoots 45 rounds at, I'm gonna guess, approximately 900 rounds per minute. And if that sounds like a lot, that's because it is. For comparison, here's Rocket's damage per second. And here's the Punisher's damage per second. They're very close, and there's even a team-up ability between the two that I'll get into later. The secondary fire is an orb that passively heals allies as it passes through. This can be a really good way to heal allies when they're in close quarters, because the orbs will just bounce back and keep healing. It's also good for healing allies when they're far away, and you can bounce the orb off and try to heal them a bit. It's not perfect. The healing isn't as good as, say, Cloak and Dagger, but a lot of people underestimate how valuable this can be when you're trying to heal the whole team at once. For team utilities, Rocket has a beacon that you can drop that does two things. It can drop armor packs that you and your allies can use, as well as an occasional jump boost. But I'm gonna be real, that's not where most of the value from this piece of kit comes from. Most of it comes from the fact that if an ally dies near it, like if they get killed by an enemy team member, they get instantly revived within like a second or two. This is a really good way to try and sustain your team a bit longer when you're in a fight. For movement, Rocket can wall run, and he has two boost charges on his jetpack that he can use. These stack, and each one has a very quick cooldown. They don't carry you far, but for what this is used for, you don't really need to. This can be used to either parkour onto areas that normally you wouldn't be able to get onto, and it can also be used to evade enemies when they're trying to dive you. It's a really good way to get out of a bad situation. And finally, his ultimate. This one was buffed just recently, so on top of the damage increase that it gives nearby teammates, it can also give them temporary health. This is a really good way to start an ambush, so if the enemy team is about to charge in, or if you're about to charge into the enemy team, this can give you the extra push you would need to finish them off. You can also combine this with other ultimates, so say Luna Snow with the area of healing. You could combine this to also give them extra damage and temporary health on top of that. A team-up ability that's going away very soon is one with the Punisher. This also used to be available for Winter Soldier. This ability gives them unlimited ammo for a few seconds and also increases their rate of fire by a very significant amount. The other team-up ability is with Groot. This one gives either Rocket or Jeff, depending on who hops on his shoulders, a reduction in the amount of damage they take. Other than that, it doesn't really do much. You can use all of your abilities while riding on top of Groot's, but it's not really the most practical, but it is fun, and it could be a really good way to immerse yourself if you like Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. So now comes the question, how would I define Rocket's playstyles? I would describe Rocket as just being a very versatile support who can also deal a ton of damage if he needs to. I think Rocket is very underrated in a lot of ways, not just in terms of his healing and just general team support. He's also very underrated in how he functions as basically a pseudo duelist. He can absolutely take the front lines and be a diver just as well as he can be a healer. As I showed, his damage rivals the Punisher, which is one of the better duelists in the entire game. And he can also do really good healing, and this was before the recent buffs. His ultimate is heavily underutilized as well. A lot of people think his ultimate was bad because, oh, it didn't do any healing. It didn't need to. The whole point was that you could combine it with other support ultimates and basically give the team a boost and be able to finish off an attack. So overall, I think the goal here with Rocket's playstyle is to just be a little bit of everything you can be. Do a bunch of damage when you get dove, try to evade when that happens also, and then get back to your team and try to heal them as best you can while also taking up the front lines. You have to do a little of everything, but that's not to say you can't just spam a bunch of healing orbs and keep the team's health up. You can do that too if you want to, and that would be an effective playstyle. But to really get the most out of Rocket, you have to be able to also balance out the damage you can do. As long as your aim is at least somewhat decent, you can absolutely shred tanks. If you land even just a few headshots and a ton of body shots, Hulk turns right back to Bruce Banner, and there is nothing that Hulk player can do to stop you. It's very, very underutilized, the amount of damage Rocket can do. That said, don't forget about your team. Make sure to place your revival beacons in a safe spot because the enemy team can and will break it. With all of that said, I hope you found this guide helpful. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Leave some suggestions in the comments what other characters you would like me to cover and try to give a tutorial for, because I pretty much played every character by now, and though there are some that I'm better at than others, I have a very good idea of how they all play. With that said, that's it for now. I'm out.
This is real firepower! I'll patch you up.
They're right behind you. Hell unleashed!
So close!
Launch it
This is
again.
your big chance!
You're ready for action. My good deed for the day. Armor patch here. Pay up.
Feeling stronger already.